So the first thing to remember is to mind your manners. So if someone retweets you, if they follow you, reach out to that person in some way. With following, you can thank everyone that follows you, but you don't have to. A lot of the times, if you just follow someone back, that's kind of like a polite thing to do. That being said, you don't need to necessarily follow everyone that follows you. Make sure there's something, they have an account that's interesting to you, is related to you. As far as retweets go, people don't expect that you're going to thank them every time they retweet something, but it is a nice little touch. And to make more of a personal connection, I personally like to use people's names. So if someone retweets something that I tweeted and I look at the profile, I'm like, okay, their name is Janet, they'll be like, thanks for the retweet, Janet. And I just find that kind of helps to create more of a personal connection. As far as don't tweet too much, most of the time you don't really need to worry about that. I mean, Twitter is a lot of noise as it is. I'd recommend about 4 to 5 tweets a day if you're getting started, and kind of scatter them. If you're going to participate in like a live tweet chat or something like that where you're tweeting rapidly, often I just send out a little tweet beforehand and be like, oh, I'm participating in this, stay tuned for my tweets, or ignore me if it's too much. And next to give credit, so if you're tweeting something that somebody else wrote, like a blog article or something like that, if they're on Twitter, it's really good to just say via at whoever it is, or if you're retweeting, make sure that you're either using the retweet button or you're using their Twitter handle in there, so you mention them. That way you're just giving credit that they posted this originally and I found it. As far as hashtags, again, so I like to think of them as keywords. If you're using hashtag for every second word, then it's too much and it's not going to be beneficial to you. It's just going to look a little spammy. So when you use hashtags, think about, they can be as broad as using, there's a Newfoundland hashtag, for example. Or they can be more specific, like there's an NL Arts hashtag. Just make sure that, again, it's like a conversation or a topic that's relevant and not just every other word. Think, then, tweet, all these kind of things kind of tie together. So don't get too personal. I really believe in inserting your personality on Twitter. That's what it's all about. But you don't need to give out too much information, which I'm sure you've all seen on Facebook. Similarly, write professionally. So Twitter, you can tend to shorten things because you have such little space to work with as it is. But make sure it's readable. And if you're a terrible speller, use spell check. Again, you want to portray that you're a professional person. And lastly, be helpful. So with Twitter, a certain amount of self-promotion is expected, and sometimes, it makes sense to just get that information out there. If you're playing at a venue and you want your fans to know that you're going to be there, all those things are important to tweet. That being said, make sure that you're still sharing other people's content. You're providing value to your followers rather than just me.